rah in this motherfucker.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Ozarks Sports Report YouTube channel. Here joined by the head coach of the Crane Pirates, Coach Kevin Smith and Houston Steele. And for today's show, we're going to be doing a season recap with the coaches of the Crane Pirates, Coaches Kevin Smith and Houston Steele. Recapping their games from the past season, the Crane Pirates went 24-4 and also had an undefeated home record with a 10-0 record. Their four losses came to Willard, Mount Vernon, Stratford, and Marionville in the Class II District 11 tournament. Coach Smith, what was the main definition that you had going into this season with your Crane Pirates in 2019 and 2018?
The main thing was about our team and the chemistry we wanted to put forth, and I think the kids really did that, and they all bit in, and they all had a role to do, and they did it very well, and they shared the ball with the right guys in right spots. So that was probably our number one thing.
Number one thing is that you had, what was the statement that you were putting in this going into this season?
Our team chemistry is probably first and foremost.
Definitely is a big plus, is that team chemistry. You guys had an impressive run until you went into the Blue and Gold tournament with suffering your first loss to Willard on the day after Christmas. And we have to talk about those wins. What was that most important win out of those first 10 wins to open up the season?
I'd say there's three wins that was important to us that really kind of set us apart. Was the Walnut Grove win here at our place when they were ranked 5th in state in Class 1. A second win I thought was really big and important was on the road at Forsyth, a tough road win. And the third win was the next night when we played Clever at our place, and I thought those three wins kind of separated us and showed us who we were for the season.
Definitely staying in that win column. Also joining in is is the assistant coach of the Crane Pirates. That's going to be Coach Houston Steele. And the same questions go to you, Coach Steele. Is what was the strategy that you had going into this season?
Going into the season, I felt we just had to continue to build on our culture from last year. In the past, our culture had changed for a couple years, and I personally had kind of thought it turned into something that it was, or something that we didn't want, and that was something Coach Smith really worked on, and I worked on as well to bring back our culture of Crane. We kind of have a Crane first mentality. It's us, and then everybody else can just come second and behind us. So that was kind of the big thing that I worked on with the boys, and made sure that they knew that they weren't playing for themselves. They were playing for that name on their chest and the town and the legacy that some of them left and some of their parents had left here. And we got a lot of kids whose parents are from here, graduated, played here, and I wanted to make sure that they knew that they were part of something bigger than just themselves.
Definitely something that's bigger in that small southwest Missouri town on the northwestern part of Stone County. That is Crane. Apparently that is my alma mater. So with what that goes in, what was your definition of the season that you had, Coach Steele?
It's kind of tough for me. We had a great season. Our kids did everything that they had to do to be successful. I look back at the games we've lost, that we had lost. Willard is the only one that we had no business being in, and we were able to fight our way back, and to the point where we got it. Coach, was it within 10 or we got within 10? And that's as close as we could get it. But that was saying a lot for us. And then the rest of our losses, I felt like, were ones we shouldn't have. We lost to Stratford at Stratford by 1 in overtime, which we had an opportunity to win that game. The Mount Vernon game, from playing in this blue and gold tournament, our style of play, we just weren't made to play back-to-back. So that was a game that we struggled with for that reason, I feel like. And then, of course, this recent one, the Marionville game, That was a tough one for us. But all in all, I can say we were in every game we played in, and we showed up to play. It just didn't work out and end up where we wanted to at the end of the season.
Staying in that same boat with wins, Coach Smith and Coach Steele. Now on to both of you guys. What was the most exciting win that you had of the season? You have to go to all those 24 wins that you had. What was the most exciting win that you had to pull out of all those 24 wins?
It'd be hard to say. There's so many that was exciting through the way, and some tough road wins. I'll take the Billings win at their place, and the Blue Eye game at their place was exciting, close games at the very end. I think the Forsyth game was too. There was so many, it's hard to count and say which was more important to me. I think all were a stepping stone for us and who we were, so hard to really pinpoint one win that was just put us over the edge.
Well, I'm kind of with Coach on this one. The Billings win is always big. Anytime we get a chance to beat a conference team and a good conference team like Billings, that was exciting, a big one. Blue Eye was, because I had a little bad taste in my mouth from losing to the district championship to them last year. So that was a good one. Coach, he said the Forsyth game, which came down to the wire. Forsyth played their tails off at a hostile environment. It's a lot of fun when you get to play in places like that. Them were all big wins and fun games to be part of. I would say I'd have to be with him on those, but it'd be hard for me to pin down a game that I felt like was our most important win or our most exciting win, because they're all exciting. We're competitive guys, and we want to always compete, and it's always exciting to win. It's never fun to lose. So I can't say that any one means any more than any of the rest of them. It's just some of them were maybe a little more fun to coach in and be part of.
Definitely is fun to be a part of a winning team and coach a winning team. And we have to go on to that dark side of the wins. Now it's going to be on to the losses. And our first question that we have for this 4 losses is, what was your toughest or learning or educational loss that you guys had in this season? First, start off with Coach Smith, and we will go to Coach Steele.
I think the toughest one was the Marionville loss, just because we can't go back and correct it and go back another day of practice and wipe that away. And so that one's probably going to linger for me, just like the Blue-Eyed loss did last year. This one might sting a little bit more this year because we had such a great season. In this retrospect, winning 24 games, but I'd have to say that one because I can't go back and make changes and second guess, myself a little bit on some stuff. So I'd have to say the Marionville game.
And I have to agree with the Marionville game as well, because it's your last game. That was the last game we got to play for all the hard work and time that we had put in. It was tough, and to make it worse, it was Marionville at Marionville, and if you're from Crane, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That makes it even worse. I just looking back, and even it being as fresh as it is, it's just we didn't do things that we had done all year long to be successful, and it really eats at you as a coach to sit back and think about those things that we should have done differently or wish we would have done differently. I've always said that since I've been coaching, losing is a heartbreak for a player, but it's devastating for a coach. And that loss, out of all the ones I've had, has been by far the most devastating one so far.
Staying in that same boat of losses, now we just went on from that toughest loss. Now, what was the educational loss that you had in this game? A loss that you can learn from, you can do better and to work harder at, and when you meet that team, you could see what you did better to beat them. What would you say your most educational loss that you had throughout this season of all those 4 losses?
I think probably educationally the loss that really kind of helped me out probably was the Stratford loss and on the road, and a great team. Showed us that we just had no quit. The Crane kids never quit, and we got down, and we fought back from being 12 down and to take the lead at Stratford. So, and then to get beaten overtime, I think showed me a lot of toughness about what Crane School and Crane kids are all about.
And for me, the Stratford game was a very good educational game, but as far as as that goes for me, our Forsyth game, which we won, in my mind, was a loss for us. We did a lot of things wrong. We didn't play very well, and we allowed a good team to stick around, and they about beat us. I know that's not a loss, but in my mind, we didn't do the things that we needed to that we've been practicing on. So I feel like, in my mind, that was a loss. And that was the game where I feel like we learned a lot about ourselves because it was pretty early on. It helped me and Coach Smith reflect on what we needed to do to continue to be successful and things we need to work on. And that following that Forsyth game, I think it really propelled us into a better level of basketball I think we played after that game.
Still in that same boat for losses, as we now move on to another topic, is the one that disappoints you, that one that really leaves a bad taste in your mouth. What was the most disappointing loss that you guys had throughout this season?
I'd say for me, it's the Marionville loss in districts. I mean, that's probably the most disappointing loss that we had, just because of our season that we had was amazing, and winning 24 games at that point. I think we never really played bad enough to lose very many games, and we played bad that game, and I think the Marionville loss kind of really hurt us quite a bit.
And I agree as well. It's the Marionville loss by far. Anytime your last game you play, when it's a loss, is tough for your seniors that have battled it out and fought it out and stuck it out for 4 years. Knowing that they've played their last game is that's tough. From a competitor standpoint, you don't ever want to lose, but when you lose that last game, and the boys that you have worked hard with and really care about, and you have to see the emotion that they put out after the game and know how much it meant to them, that makes it tough. That makes it even tougher than losing the game, period. So I'd have to say our last game, that Marionville district game, was by far the toughest one for me and disappointing for me as well.
Definitely was disappointing for the Crane coaches, the players, and as well as the Crane fans. These fans had a lot of expectations for this boys team when they went on to that 10-0 run until the Blue and Gold tournament, losing their first game against Willard. And this team had a lot of potential of making it to JQH Arena for the Final Four. Do you think that the players may have wanted the season to just last for another week or so and maybe take it to Springfield?
Oh yeah, they were wanting to keep playing, and I don't think they overlooked Marionville at all. I think they were ready. I think anytime Marionville and Crane play, neither team overlooks the other. But these boys at Crane and our community thought we had a really good run, and we did a lot of great things. So, Marionville was the only school that we got beat by that was a small school all season. Because the Mount Vernon was a strong Class 3 school, and they won 19 games, and same thing with Stratford, won 21 games in Class 3. Then Willard, I think they're at 17 wins right now in Class 5. So we had high expectations, and we will keep those expectations really high.
Same question goes to you, Houston Steele. Is that did your players also really wanted that game back? They wanted to just rewind the clock back and beat Marionville, go into the district championship, also win the district championship, go into sectionals and also quarterfinals, and then end the season with a win at Springfield?
Yeah, there's no doubt. As a basketball player and as a coach, you don't do this, you don't play, you don't put in the hours and work hoping that you can lose in the second round districts. That last game, that state championship game, is a game you want to be in. And there's no doubt in my mind that the players, every one of them has struggled with it. I have a little brother who plays, and when I seen him on Saturday, Friday night and Saturday. He didn't want to talk about it. He couldn't talk about basketball. He's still so disappointed in the way it ended, the way the season went. We'd done so well, and we had high expectations. I don't feel like it would do us any justice to have low expectations for this team, and I would think all of our expectations were to continue to move on and make it to that Final Four. That was our goal. That's where we wanted to be, and Maryville played the game they needed to, and it just didn't happen for us.
Moving on to another topic, that is awards that we give out at the end of the season. Ozarks Sports Report has an award that's known as the Ozarks Sports Report Male Player of the Year. And also they have the one that just debuted this season is the Duo of the Year, and the one that debuted at the end of the football season, and that is the Play of the Year. Who would be your nominees that you have for the Duo of the Year, the Male Player of the Year, Coach of the Year, and the Play of the Year that comes out of Crane? Start off with Coach Houston Steele.
For a Player of the Year, I think it's no doubt that Ty Campbell should be in the running for that. The kid is incredible, a good kid, and works hard. I don't think you can find somebody that will outwork him. There's many times this year when we needed a bucket, we've needed something, and we've been able to tell Ty take over, and he would. Him and Isaiah Smith would be one they were our two key scoring components. Isaiah just shoot the lights out, and smart. I think there's a chance that Isaiah is probably the smartest basketball player I've been around. He knows what's going on the floor, and at times it seems like he knows exactly what someone else is going to do when you watch the kid play. So I feel like that's two nominees right there for the Player of the Year that should be highly considered for their contributions to the team and the season that they had.
And also, same question goes to you, Coach Smith. Is who would your nominees be for Player of the Year, Play of the Year, Duo of the Year, and Coach of the Year? Would you nominate yourself as the Coach of the Year, and who would be your nominees for Player of the Year, Duo of the Year, and Coach of the Year that is nominated by Ozark Sports Report?
I don't ever do that stuff about myself. I just had great coaches with me and great kids. And, I don't get wrapped up in too much stuff about nominating myself, about things like that. But I would say Ty was the most valuable player day in, day out. He sometimes had to guard guys 3 or 4 inches taller than him. Great scorer. He really asserted himself offensively and defensively this year. So I'd have to go with Tyler. I'd say the duo, I would have to say Tyler and Isaiah Smith. Some of the best guard combo deal you can get, trying to guard and be smart and shoot it and score. And also they played well with their teammates, and they're just a hard tandem. Play of the Year, I would have to say was at the Billings game when Isaiah got off its board, kicked it out to Shaq, and he dunked it and got fouled and made his free throw, and that put us up 3 in the fourth quarter. I'd say that was probably the Play of the Year that really kind of set the tone as something big that happened.
And now as we move on from the 2018-2019 season into the 2019-2020 season that will kick off at around the around the middle to end of November. We don't know your opponent, and we don't know if you're going to open the new season at home or you're going to open your new season on the road. But what's going to be the expectation? What will be the scripture that you're going to be preaching out of that Pirates Bible for next season? I'll start off with head coach Kevin Smith, and we'll move on to Houston Steele.
We're going to do the same thing we did this year, and I expect us to be a little bit better at it next year. Will we have the same record? I don't know. But I think we'll be better at what we do after we changed everything that we did for year 2. Does that translate into a better record? No, not necessarily. But hopefully it translates to farther along into the state playoffs. is what we want to get to. So I think we'll be better. We'll plug in some holes, and kids will find their roles in those roles. So I suspect that we'll have a great year next year. We'll have high expectations, and we'll get started with on the ground running as soon as possible.
Yeah, and I believe that, I believe my job as the coach going into next season will be to make sure that our kids know where they come from and continue to change the culture here at Crane into a winning culture. We're going to have a good group of seniors, and we're going to have a good group of freshmen coming in, and I'm going to make sure that those seniors continue to mentor those younger kids and take them under their wing a little bit to try to continue, a long-standing tradition here at Crane of winning and being successful. So going into next season, I think our expectations are going to be high. I think our kids' expectations are high, and I know that myself and Coach Smith, neither one of them will let them get away with much or get away with having lower expectations than what we do. Expectations are going to be high from us, from the players, and from the town. The town likes to win, and that's the way it is. So be prepared, because we're gonna come in, we're gonna get started, and we're gonna work hard, and we're gonna try to beat some more people.
Definitely feed some more people. And you're going to be losing a few seniors. You're going to be losing seniors of Levi McKnight, Wyatt Cloyd, Travis Batson, Bryson Brandstetter, who is a big weapon that you had, who was also part of the starting five. And we believe you're going to be losing Bryce Barnett, we believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but will this be a year that you're going to be making adjustments or rebuilding, or will it be this year on repeat?
Also in that mix, a good player for us was Colby Kilman. I'll start with him since he was mentioned. Colby did a great job for us. Everything I could ever ask, he did. He bit into what we were doing this year, so he did great. Bryson Brandstetter, great leadership, and did a lot of good things for us. We'll miss his three-point shooting ability and leadership. Shaq, Wyatt Cloyd come around a long ways from where he was when I first got here, from all the people touching him and being with him, having big influence, helping us to be consistent. Levi McKnight come in and helped us out in the JV level and did a great job the last couple of years. And Travis Batson come in, and he's really surprised me about what he did for us also. So those kids all did a great job for us, and I wish them the best. But I think that we'll get the right kids placed in. They got to pick me. I don't pick them. People get confused by that. If they want a spot for me, they got to pick me. They got to show they're going to get that spot, and I'm going to try to find a few that are willing to show that they want that spot. So not much will change. We have a core really with us. It just depends on who wants to be a part of that group for next year.
We'll be losing those seniors. Those kids, they're great kids. They're all like brothers to me. And they'll go on and they'll do great things. There's no doubt. But now they're part of something even bigger than just the basketball team. They're part of the alumni. They've joined many of us who have come here and played and moved on. And I'm really looking forward to having those guys as friends and as mentors for even our younger, or our kids coming out of school, or our seniors coming into this year. I really look forward to having them around. It's a couple of those kids you just can't say enough good stuff about. I could say plenty of bad stuff, I'm sure, but I could just continue on with how great, Bryce Brandstetter of a leader he is, and how tough Colby Kilman is. Wyatt Cloyd, the kid being 6'10", and weighing 120 pounds like he does, he would get in there and he'd battle and he'd fight. He should be a lesson to a lot of kids that are thinking about, maybe I might not play basketball next year. You sit out 1 year, you sit out a couple years. It makes a difference. So but I'm going to miss all those guys, and I wish them the best.
Definitely wish him the best. And with what you reiterated on about Wyatt Cloyd, saying how like one kid he sits out for 1 year of basketball, sits out for 2 years, it does take a toll on a player when he says like, I really miss playing the game of basketball, and people just have to find a passion for that. And would you guys agree with that?
Oh yeah, I'd definitely say correct. I missed it so bad I started coaching, so I'm a competitive guy. So those boys will miss it, and the camaraderie and the friendships will be irreplaceable. So I know that they'll miss it, but they'll cherish those opportunities.
Yeah, there's no doubt they'll miss it. But at the same time, here at Crane, they have every opportunity to still be part of the team. That's something that me and Coach Smith both make sure all of our players know when they want to come into practice, want to sit in practice. Anytime, they are able to call us. They might not be wearing that uniform anymore, but they are just as much part of this team and this town as they were before.
Now, as we look into next season, you're going to have a few freshmen that are coming in on the boys' side, and with what I've seen in their middle school days when they were 8th graders, they actually won the junior high SWCL championship, and we believe that was against Spokane. Correct me if I'm wrong. What will you guys be seeing from those players? Which players are going to be coming into the freshman level next season?
Guys that are going to make an impact, and we still don't know on what level yet, but they'll make an impact in our program in high school. Aiden Vaught and Nolan Brawley and Taylor Calzaretta and Blake Evans and Parker Jones and Christian Church will all make an impact because they had a lot of success in the junior high, and how we retooled the high school is exactly what we did in junior high. So they'll have a leg up, and they'll already know we want to reteach them.
Yeah, and for a freshman coming into high school, it's a different world when you get out there playing. So it's hard for me to sit here and tell you, who I think will be successful their freshman year and all of that, because it's just going to depend on how hard they work in the off season. We have a couple 8th graders that could really step up, or I guess incoming freshmen that could really step up and really give us a lot of valuable time ahead of some guys that are maybe a little bit older. But that's only if they're willing to put in the work and fight and battle for that spot. Here at Crane, as nothing's given to you. You don't get anything. You earn it. And so if you attend a game next year and you see a freshman out there playing, he earned that time. He didn't get it just because of who he was or anything like that. Know that he earned it.
One more question that we have to talk about is what do you guys expect from your conference and each and every class going into the sectionals, quarterfinals, and state for the lower classes of 1, 2, and 3, and then for 4 and 5, what do you expect going into the districts for classes 4 and 5, and then out of the districts into the sectionals, quarterfinals, and state?
Class 4 and 5, I'm just not as familiar with them since I've switched gears and went to the lower class. So I'm really not sure. I know powerhouses are usually going to be what I paid attention. Rogersville and Kickapoo probably would be pretty strong in this region, and Class 4 Raj and Class 5 Kickapoo. I think also in this area I look for a great game between Greenwood and Hartville. I've seen both those teams play. They could be close. Now the Marionville Liberal game, I really don't know. Who will come out? I'd say probably Marionville, more than likely, but unsure of. Class 1, I'm really not sure of in the area. Besides, I know Dora's really good coming out in this region. So other than that, I'm really not sure of.
Yeah, I don't follow the big class basketball much. We have enough on our plate as it is with our own schedule and our own basketball. But I think a team that you'll see will make to the state Final Four out of maybe the smaller classes in the upcoming state games. I think you'll see Springfield Catholic, Class 3. They're tough. They really are. They have all the pieces, so hopefully they'll be able to put it together and bring one home for this area. Out of Class 2, I'm not trying to take anything away from anyone else, but Greenwood and Hartville, that's going to be a tough game for two great teams, and two teams that I think will eventually represent the Southwest Missouri area at the state games. We got a couple kids that went to Crane and moved to Hartville, so I'm really hope that they have success. I'd like to see those boys do well, even though they're not part of the Crane family anymore. I still want to see them win. So that'll be some good basketball being played, I wish all those teams the best. I'm jealous. I wish I was there. So.
Can't have too much jealousy that happens there on that court. And now as we move into the next season, going into all the classes and then your conference of the SWCL, what are you going to be expecting from your SWCL and all 5 classes going into next year?
In the SWCL, I plan on winning it. When you compete, I set out goals to win the conference, and we set that goal out this year. I've got a goal next year to win the conference. That won't change a bit. We want to win it. We're prepared to win it. I think it's ours to win. I think the people will try to beat us and knock us off, which can happen anytime, but we have goals, and we're going to accomplish those goals some way, somehow. I'm unsure of the classes, how they'll be next year, because there could possibly be a class change. So I don't know who's moving up, who's moving down. So that'll be hard to say till we know next fall who's where and who lies at what spot.
And as far as the conference goes in the SWCL, we always set out to win the conference. That's something that's a goal. It's a given. When you sit down with your players, and us coaches sit down, and we can write a few things down automatically. And undefeated at home and win the conference. That's two things that we can automatically write down because that's a goal. That's just. I think we'll have some strong competition from it's going to be a tough Billings team. I think a tough Spokane team is going to be tough. I think we're going to have a couple schools that maybe might be down a little bit. But I've heard that Southwest, the newcomer to the SWCL, has a really good incoming. They'll have an incoming freshman class that's going to be really good. Maybe might struggle to compete in this coming year, but in following years, it sounds like they could be pretty tough. So you never know. Anybody can beat anybody on any given day, but I feel like we're kind of the front runners right now, just going off the season that we had and the season that we think we're going to have next year. I feel like we're the team to beat in the SWCL.
Now, before we let you guys go, if there were any final words you had to say to all 28 of those coaches that you played in that game, or some of them you played not once, not twice, but one of them you played 3 times, and that's Coach David Shear from Galena, and one you played twice, that is Coach Ted Young from Marionville. What would your final words be to all those coaches, the assistant coaches, the teams that you've played all year long?
Those are all good teams, good coaches, and we beat a lot of them along the way. We had a great year, so those guys got to keep going on and get prepped for their off season and the preseason. Wish them well, but we plan on taking care of what we do. Hopefully again next year. They all do great jobs, but we'll be ready to compete again next year.
Yeah, I'm with Coach on that. Just so they know, we're not going to slow down any. We're going to continue to move forward like we have been, and so there's no doubt they'll be ready, but we'll be ready as well.
Here now with head coach Kevin Smith of the Crane Pirates after that big win against Galena to help keep the season alive. Coach Smith, what was the main ingredient that you were cooking in that soup to help keep your season alive against Galena?
We want to come out and just guard and really take care of the ball. We're still trying to play without Breck involved in our lineup. I thought Eric did a good job with that and made some shots and some good defensive things. And we're going to keep doing what we're doing. I really like where we played really the second half. First half didn't play as well, but the second half I was really pleased.
Breckenbot, a big puzzle piece that you lost in your lineup, also a very big weapon that you lost. It was kind of slow in that first quarter. Galena had the lead throughout most of the first quarter until you guys woken up and you guys got the lead throughout the rest of the game and at the end of the first quarter. What was your words to help regain that, or to help gain that lead against Galena at the waning moments of the first quarter?
We wanted to go ahead and I didn't feel like we did what we usually do the whole time, but we did that much better the second half. And, we guarded better, got a little more focused. I thought we were a little lackadaisical first half, but I got to give credit. I think Galena had a lot to do with that too. So, I'm glad that we eventually got things going and things turned our way.
Halftime of this game between Marionville and Greenfield, you are 16 minutes away from who decides your next opponent. Will it be Marionville? Will it be Greenfield? What's going to be the main scripture that you're going to be preaching in that Pirates Bible to help bring a win to send you guys to the district championship against either Greenfield or Marionville?
First off, once we kind of see who we're going to play, we'll really dial it in and know how we should play them. I got ideas for both, but until I really get to see who's won, we'll get started then. And both teams will be a tough out for us, so we're excited to see one of them.
If there are any final words you had to say to head coach David Shear of the Galena Bears after that season-ending loss that they had to you guys, what would be your words to Coach Shear of the Galena Bears?
I wish him the best of luck. I hope he has a good spring and gets his kids ready for games next year.
Thanks for saying something, Coach Smith. Congratulations on that win to keep your season alive. Best of luck against either Marionville or Greenfield.
All right, thank you very much.
Here were two of the lead scorers tonight of the Creighton Pirates, Tyler Campbell and Wesley Branstetter, who scored 17 and 16 points tonight against Galena. Guys, what was the main ingredient that you were cooking in the pot to help end Galena's seasons today?
We're just going to do what we always do. We know they're going to come out fighting and playing harder than normal because it's win or go home, so we just had to come out and do what we do.
We just had to push the ball, keep on playing defense, make them get that turnovers, and that's where we got all of our points from, is their turnovers. And we just score.
Let's go into the first quarter. You guys were a little slow today in the first quarter. What were Coach Smith's words to help spark the fire at about the later stages of the first quarter until the rest of the game?
We can't get too high or too low. We just got to stay focused on what we came to do and let the game come to us.
Don't get caught up in what Galena's doing. Just keep on focusing on what we do best.
You're going to be taking on host Marionville or Greenfield. That'll be on, we believe that's going to be on Wednesday night. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's going to be on Wednesday night. You'll take on either Marionville or Gainesville. What will be Coach Smith's words to help bring another win to help glide you guys to the district championship on Friday or on Saturday?
We got to come do what we always do, and it's either Greenfield or Marionville. But, we got to do what we always do. Come out, push the ball. Have a lot of energy. It'll be a lot tougher of a game, so we just got to keep working.
We just got to play as a team and get rebounds and stop the drives. That's what we got to do.
If there are any final words you had to say to head coach David Shearer of the Galena Bears after that season-ending loss that they had to you guys, what would be your words to Coach David Shearer of the Galena Bears?
I'd say that he did very well. He did great coaching year because Galena improved a lot. He did a good job.
They definitely came a lot more prepared for us this time than the other two times. They gave us a little run. We had to play harder to begin the game out. So, salute.
All right, thanks for spending time with us, guys. Congratulations on that win to keep your season alive. We'll talk to you guys against either Marionville or Greenfield come up on Wednesday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Here with Wyatt Cloyd, 6'9" Wyatt Cloyd, who had 2 slam dunks today against Galena. Wyatt, what was the main chemistry they had to get those 2 dunks? at the later stage of the game against Galena?
My point guards were just looking to pass to me, so they got me the ball and I just slammed it down.
Definitely got you the ball and slammed it down. Tell me about that reaction from that Crane bench after those 2 dunks that you had.
They just hyped me up.
Hype you up it is. Coming into this game, it's going to be Marionville against Greenfield. You'll play either Marionville or Greenfield. What's going to be Coach Smith's words to help send you guys to the district championship? That'll be on Saturday against help when you guys play Greenfield or Marionville.
Box out and try hard.
30 final words you had to say to head coach David Shearer of the Galena Bears. What would be your words for Coach Shearer of the Galena Bears?
You guys really progressed throughout the season and played a lot better against us this time.
Thanks for staying the time with us, Wyatt. Chloe, congratulations on those 2 slam dunks that you had. We'll talk to you on Wednesday against either Marionville or Greenfield.
Thank you.
That'll wrap up our show for today. We hope you enjoyed our show. We hope you enjoyed us sitting down with the coaching staff of the Crane Pirates, Coach Kevin Smith and Coach Houston Steele. If you want to stay connected with the Crane Pirates through their social media, be sure to like them on Facebook. Also follow them on Twitter. Their Twitter is at Crane Hoops. Once again, that's Crane Hoops on Twitter. Also check out their website. Their website is at crane.k12.mo.us. If you're on that website, you go to the athletics page. You can hit the athletics page and search boys basketball or girls basketball there from Crane. If you'd like to stay connected with Ozarks Sports Report through our social media, be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Instagram, and check out our website. Our website is ozarksportsreport.wixsite.com/Ozarks Sports Report. One final time, I want to thank head coaches Houston Steele and Kevin Smith for sitting down with us to recap their entire season. We also wish them on a tremendous season, going 24-4, as they will now this is where they ended their season. And for one final time, I'm Adam Smith from the Ozark Sports Report saying, have a good day, everybody.